put you in my sights.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. I'm one of your hosts, Phil Cataldo, but you can call me Philium, alongside two beautiful guests wearing just the best merch, and we got the best merch coming out, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First, let me throw it to our very own The Draw, Jacky Rodriguez. What is up?
What is up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition we are referring to as the Sunday Night Hoot of Elite POV.
Yes, special edition because AEW is on Sunday, or it was on Saturday this past week. And, you know, with them moving, we had to move. But another great co-host we have on this show is the King of Talk Style and a man with a very fancy shirt, Anthony DiStefano. What is up?
I have a fancy shirt out now, and my camera's blurry. Look at this. I can do this, and then look, it's like a magic trick, and then I'm good. So, hey, thank you for the sub. But, yes, it has been a crazy weekend. We have new merch out. All of us have shirts. Before we start talking AEW, let's talk a little bit about Elite POV and the two people we just signed to our brand to help us with things. First off, we have Miss Jamie Strange running all the social media stuff as well as content. So there will be a certain show coming to a certain thing that's coming in November that you want to stay tuned to. So make sure you check that out. And then we have the best graphic designer in the world, and as part of our content team, Mr. Infinity 13 Gaming. So welcome to the team. Say hi to him. Follow him. This is going to be really fun. This has a special feeling to it. And I'm very proud of how this brand is going, because only about 5 weeks ago, Phil and I had a conversation where we said, maybe we should get serious about this, because our show, if you listen to the first couple, was a total shit show. It was in shambles. I was drunk half the time. We're back now, though. Here we are. We're back being professional.
Yes, sir.
Yep, and, you know, bringing Jamie and Infinity along, we talked, the three of us, and, you know, especially with me and Ant, with doing Rant with Ant and Rant Foundation and me doing Who Got Next, like, it's always best to surround yourself with extremely talented people who can take the load off of us, especially when it comes to things we're not necessarily the best at. Like, there's no one better at making logos than Infinity. I swear this guy is he's legendary with it. And a lot of the merch that you guys see, of course, ElitePOVmerch.com is where you get all of our new merchandise, and a lot of that merchandise designed by Infinity.
As you guys can see, we have a little logo up there. We have the Elite POV merch shop logo up on your screen. We have the Queen Strange shirt. We have the CEO of Elite POV, Phil Cataldo, or Phil Catalado, if you want to call him what he was called at All In. She's the draw. Jacky is the only person with two shirts because she is the draw. Then we have the Best in the World Infinity shirt, and then we have a new version of my old shirt, the top-selling shirt in Rant with Ant history, if you will, the King of Talk style shirt. Well, I went with a new style because it was time to switch it up. But there is our merchandise. Go buy merch, support the show, sub to us, support the show. Most importantly, tell somebody about the show. That is the best way to support the show.
And also, speaking of subbing, if you guys are watching this live on Twitch right now, we are one sub away from getting Anthony DiStefano to somehow dress like Olaf. We are doing this Halloween competition for this week's AEW show that is coming up whenever we record it. So with that being said, we have to cap it at some point because we need time to get it. I already got my Elsa outfit. If you guys follow us on Twitter at ElitePOV, you saw me post what that was.
And there it is. Thanks, Infinity. All right. I gotta find an Olaf costume or onesie or something.
Or something, makeup, whatever you gotta do, some way to get Olaf. I think Walmart has onesies. You'll be fine. But so now, thank you, Infinity, in the chat. I will be dressed like Elsa, and Ant will be dressed.
And then five
Olaf.
more, and Jacky's dressing like Anna. So 5 more.
5 more, and yes, but we have to get it by the end of this
show. Yeah, end of the show.
End of the show, if we can get 5 more subs.
And we will have a frozen Elite POV overlay for the show.
Yes.
We will have one. So do it up, and then Jacky will sing Let It Go.
And then we'll get copyright stricken, and then
get kicked off of Twitch.
They'll be jealous. They'll be jealous because you sound better.
That's what it is.
Hey.
But
and also, if you guys want to join this madness and you guys want to do watch-alongs, guys want to join the conversation long after our live shows are done, you can head over to the Squared Circle on Discord and let people know about that.
yeah, so pretty much we wanted to create a community for us wrestling fans, by us wrestling fans. We had an amazing Friday night. We watched Rampage together. We'll be doing that once a week. Probably won't be there every week, especially with the next 2 weeks. Phil gets married in 2 weeks, so.
Well,
congrats.
I'm already married, but the ceremony's in 2 weeks.
He gets official. It's the official wedding.
And they're giving me a live one of these.
Yeah,
they're giving me one of these, so someone should record it.
I was gonna say, I hope somebody has a camera to record that because I'm trying to see that.
But yeah, so it's a Discord where we can hang out as a community. We can talk wrestling. A lot of our E-Feds are there. So like GOW, the E-Fed I run, WOW, which is Kyle, FWF, which is Heel, and G7, which is Gaming Madness. So it's a place for gamers, especially wrestling content creators and wrestling fans to connect. If you are a podcast and you want to join the Squared Circle, feel free. There is a promotion tab. In that promotion tab, you can try to get one of us on your show to do a guest appearance or get other people on your show or ask advice. I just think it's a great way to connect and keep the community very, very close-knit. There is 2 subs, so 3 more subs, and Jacky will be dressing up like Anna.
Let's go.
And so join the Discord. Come hang out. Come have fun. It's discord.gg / the Squared Circle. It's all over. It's on my panel. I have to add it to Elite POV panel where you can just click it, and there you go. But that is going to be our Discord. That's where we're going to be doing a lot of our hangouts. If you want to hang out with the Elite POV crew and do late night drinking, and I might do something where we go back and we watch like certain AEW matches, and then we can all make a list and try to rank the greatest of all time and shit like that. Like just fun stuff to hang out and talk wrestling. So join up. And we'll be back this week. I won't be there this week because I have another wedding I have to go to this week. But I'm sure Infinity will be running it this week as well.
Yes.
And shout out to Kyle in chat.
11/11. Yeah, 11/11.
Soon. No, Kyle. Soon. Ant's gonna get that account going. If you guys heard
the only fan. No, that's what I've been teasing. The 11/11s. Make a wish because. You're going to wish you didn't see me naked on 11/11.
That's what the 11/11 is.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But after all that, let's get into a very packed weekend of AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage. And the cool thing about this week is since Dynamite aired after Rampage, we get to talk about it live. We get to talk about it on the show, which we usually don't talk about it. And trust me, we have some stuff in the works where we will be covering Rampage live every week. That is coming in November with a bunch of new announcements and stuff that we have going on, so stay tuned with that. But this week, with everything going on, we're going to talk some Rampage. And I definitely want to get started with the match that is on everyone's mind. I've watched it 3 times. I'm very curious to know how many times you guys watched it. But that, of course, is the buy-in that was thrown on us because WWE counter-programmed by making the end of SmackDown go an extra half an hour and be commercial-free. That would have led into Rampage, which made Tony Khan set up the buy-in and make Punk versus Seidel to start off Rampage also commercial-free, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But the one match that I want to talk about is Bryan Danielson versus Suzuki. Jacky, how did you feel about this match, and what did you think about the buy-in in general?
The buy-in was an incredible idea. All of the counter-programming talk aside, the more wrestling content that we get as fans, especially when they're giving us dream matches like Suzuki versus Danielson, incredible. I will always, put the disclaimer out there. I am not the most familiar with Suzuki's work outside of what he's done in AEW, but all the hype that surrounded him coming in absolutely lived up to it. Danielson versus Suzuki was a freaking banger, hard-hitting, technical, plenty of submission wrestling, which is my favorite. That is my ultimate cup of tea. It was amazing, incredible.
And, I, too, have no clue who Suzuki was, before he started showing up in AEW. But I think one great thing that Excalibur especially does on commentary is they do a great job at telling people's backstories and getting their characters across, especially these New Japan guys that a lot of people like myself, like you, don't really know about, right? Because obviously we know the big ones. We know Okada, we know Naito, we know the guys who kind of trends like set or whatever over these last few years. But these like legends like a Suzuki, it's cool to get the backstory because even knowing nothing about him, I know he's a badass, right? I know he's a killer. I know he's like super hard hitting. And, you know, we've seen with the matches, with the tag match that he had against Mox and Kingston and the match he had against Moxley, you know, the match was just unreal to me. But Ant, before I give my thoughts on the match just in general, how did you feel watching that match?
It was everything I wanted and more. You can't ask for more from AEW, right? Like, we didn't know we were getting a 9 o'clock show until like Wednesday. They're like, okay, 9 o'clock, the buy-in. We're doing this, and it's going to be Suzuki versus Danielson. And you're like, wait, what? Like, this is happening? And the amazing part is, you know, over all their platforms, almost like 400,000 people were watching that match. So it did wonders as terms. I'm a big marketing guy. I'm sorry. It always goes to marketing. Between all their, you know, YouTube and Twitch and all that, they were getting followers and getting people watching and getting people subscribed, which is huge for their content. So that match was huge for us as fans, but also huge for the marketing of AEW. And you gotta give Tony credit, you know, Tony Khan some credit because of the balls he has going up against SmackDown with YouTube. And yeah, they didn't win, right? The ratings, the fast track ratings, they didn't win, but they made an impact, and they made it known that they, you know, scared of competition. And, you know, I'm a Roman Reigns fan, so I'm not turning this into a WWE thing, but Roman Reigns said that AEW is more catered to the hardcore fans. And thank fucking God it is, because it is the best wrestling on the planet, and I have so much fun every week. During this match, the hard hitting, the manipulating of joints and body parts, like, it was just unreal. Suzuki, if that guy walked in my house, I'd run out. Like, that dude scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I can only hope that Ishii comes over now.
Oh my God.
And
you're trying somebody to actually die.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in there too, and let's fucking just go all in with this, you know?
And listen, that match to me was, you know, I've watched it back, like I said, 3 times now. And every time I watch it, I just sit there like, I can't believe this is real, right? I can't believe not only are we seeing Japanese talent come over to the States and be shown on, you know, television, on American television, and be treated like a badass, right? Without even signing a contract to the company. You know, not only that, but like just Bryan Danielson working the style. I have not seen him work this style since he worked those Ring of Honor matches. And even those, I didn't get to see live. I saw on tapes or DVDs that were given to me after he had signed a WWE. So this is all brand new to me. And yes, the match with him and Kenny was unbelievable, right? One of the best matches, if not the best match of the year. But this was one of the best matches of the year on a different level. It was violent. It was brutal, right? And we know with Danielson's history of concussions, right? That's adding to the story. And you have Suzuki just squaring off on him, hitting him, yes, on the neck, but also the side of the head.
The spot where he dropped him, I was like, yo, I think Brian's out. I thought he was fucking out. Like, that caught him good.
Storytelling. And yes, was it the most crazy technical match? No. Right? Is there a lot of holds and stuff? No. But just, you know, and it's funny too because, you know, a lot of talk over this past week has been the difference between AEW crowds and WWE crowds. But I think that match, you know, really shows you that when you go to an AEW show, you're there to be entertained and you're there to have fun, right? And even though it wasn't the most technical match, it was a brawl, and it highlighted Suzuki's strength. And having that, one of the hypest moments of the whole weekend, in my opinion, one of the hypest moments of the whole year, really, for me, is that sequence where they're in the middle of the ring and they're hitting each other and they just go, you know, forehead to forehead and
scream at each other. I was just going to say that. Like, to me, that was like the match in a nutshell. Was like, who's going to hit the best shot? It wasn't about wrestling. It wasn't about, you know, who's the best grappler. It was literally like, who's going to knock the other one out first? And they were laughing at each other, and it was just very, like, violent. And Bryan Danielson, Yeah, Bryan Danielson has said that in AEW he wants to show his more violent side that was taking away from him. Understandably so, that wasn't what the other company was going for. This company allows him to kind of turn up the violence a little bit, and in his 1 month he's wrestled here, it's been nothing but violence, and I love it.
Well, it's one of the privileges of them not working 300 days a year. And that's not a knock on WWE. It's just, the way the schedule is here, right? You can have Danielson work this super brutal match. And yeah, in the perfect world, he would have had the Bobby Fish match the next night right afterwards. But, hey, he has as much time as he wants to recover until the tournament starts, which we'll get to that later. But, and I want to jump right to that match. What did you guys think of, Danielson the next night against Bobby Fish? Jacky, I'll start with you.
Yeah, Jacky, start that off.
Yeah, why not? So again, I think that this was a really complimentary clash of styles. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm a huge mark for technicality, for holds and whatnot. Bobby Fish, again, another person that I kind of fell off with NXT for a while. I don't have a lot of familiarity with the indies. I'll be the first to say that. But I think that having Danielson versus Fish gave me a little bit more insight as to how he works in a match. Because obviously he had the previous match with Sammy Guevara, and it was kind of my first real exposure to him. But I think that him versus Danielson really elevated to that next level where I'm like, oh, this is somebody that I really want to pay attention to going forward.
And like you said, it was cool, right? Because you saw the brutal side of Danielson, and it was also cool not only seeing this technical match the next night, but you also saw the marks on him from the night before, the scratches and the bruising and stuff like that. And Excalibur mentioned it on commentary. But Ann, what'd you think of Fish versus Danielson?
To me, Bobby Fish was always and maybe because he was injured. Oh, and there we go. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. Jacky, buy your Anna outfit.
We'll be Anna. Yep.
We'll be Anna.
Man. We're gonna have a very frozen episode of Elite POV.
And that'll be guys. That will be next Monday.
Thank you,
night.
Martin.
That'll be next Monday because Sunday I have inventory. I have to count my whole store after being in a wedding, so I'm going to be very drunk that whole weekend. So Monday we will be back with Elite POV next week. So Monday will be the frozen episode. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But to me, the Bobby Fish was the forgotten person in the Undisputed Era, right? And he was injured a lot, so it's not his fault. But Kyle O'Reilly is a main event star now for him. Adam Cole was the guy, and Roddy Strong was a North American champion, and Roddy Strong is very popular and very well known in the wrestling world. So it left Bobby Fish out. I've only really seen Bobby Fish in tag team action, right? So when I got to actually see this guy wrestle live, I went, wow, he's a lot better than I thought he was. And then the grappling and the technicality and the submission moves that him and Danielson were locking on each other. I thought Danielson legit broke his leg. And right before he locked that in to actually make him tap, look how hard Bobby Fish kicks him. These guys were not pulling punches. They were going at each other. And I thought it was anyone who likes ground wrestling and mat wrestling and submission and technicality, that match was for you. I loved every bit of it. It reminded me how Bret Hart used to work legs and manipulate legs and really focus on a joint and a body part. And those two did it. And I know the pacing's a little bit different than what we're used to in AEW, but I'm glad to see that AEW is now just more than the backflips and the moonsaults, because early AEW, that's what it was, because a lot of the guys had the same style. Now you're bringing in these guys with different styles from different countries, from different promotions, and it's just been fabulous. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, man, and it's, shout out to them for putting it on
shout
last.
Shout out to them.
Yeah,
I never say shout out. I never.
Yeah, listen. I listened back to the show and I was like, I do say it a lot.
We all do. We
all say shout out all the time.
But so yeah, thankfully they put him on last. So he had the most time to recover. And somebody hug Brie Bella, for the love of God. This poor woman having to watch her husband have that Suzuki match.
I'll hug Nikki.
Yeah, well, yeah, we know that. But so from one great moment and one great weekend for Danielson, I think the second biggest moment for me was the Hangman Adam Page promo that we got last night on Dynamite.
Mwah!
And to me,
The chef's kiss.
I think it was one of the best promos in AEW history for what it accomplished. I think it was by far the best promo of Hangman's career.
By far. But not even close, yeah.
Yeah, it set up what we all want to see happen, which is Hangman win the title at Full Gear. And it was just a moment in time where you were like, wow, the storyline really worked, especially for someone like me who, before we had Elite POV, before, when we were on Rant Foundation, I'm talking about how I didn't think Page was the guy going into All Out against Jericho. I was like, he's not ready yet. He was doing interviews and he just didn't have that charisma. He didn't have that mic presence. He didn't have that thing to him yet. He has it now. He's I think the top baby face in all of wrestling. And I think that he has organically made us feel for him. And before, I go to you, Jacky, Carrie, and we were texting, shout out to Carrie, because of course,
shout out
to everybody.
Yeah,
shout out to
Carrie.
So Carrie made a great point, and that wasn't a Hangman promo, that was an Adam Page promo.
Yep.
He talked from the heart. And my favorite line from that promo, and Jacky, you can tell me what you think. My favorite line when he was like, cowboy shit is when you're brave enough or strong enough to, on the highest run of your career, to step away to have a baby. I was like, ooh, that was good. That got me right in my feels. And I don't even have kids, but that hit me hard. But Jacky, what did you think? I know Hangman's one of your boys.
Yeah, all right. So my camera is not high definition enough for you to see the goosebumps that are on my arm right now, because just thinking about it.
Yeah, I have tears in my eyes talking about it.
I know, I get it welled up.
With a tear in my eye.
I'm such a baby for this. But honestly, there's something to be said about capturing that level of emotion and making it so relatable. Pro wrestling is known for being an over-the-top forum where it's like larger-than-life stars. But Hangman Adam Page has come across as one of the most relatable human beings. Not just a wrestler, not just a star, but just when he talks, it's like, boom, it goes right to the freaking chest for me. And last night was one of those promos where you can feel every ounce of that emotion. It was every bit of that run me my championship promo, because his time is now. And like you said, that one moment where he said cowboy shit is leaving and, going to have a baby boy. I'm not ashamed to say it. I cried. Yeah. AEW Dynamite played with my emotions last night. But I'm just like, I'm so ready. I've been ready. And I thought I was ready before, but now it's like, give me Full Gear. Give me my favorite cowboy with that title around his waist. I need that. And I can't wait to see
I think
it.
A lot of us are going to need to be watching Full Gear by ourselves.
Yes.
With headphones on, just so we can sit there and just have a moment collectively as a fandom and just let the tears come out and just everybody post your crying pictures.
I was going to say, hit up your local Costco, Sam's Club, whatever your big box store is, get all your Kleenex, because everybody's going to be crying.
Yeah, hit up Jack Spade. It's going to be like heels. Throwing.
Yeah. Jack Spade has so many Kleenex left.
Yeah, just bought the whole store.
Yeah. But Ann, what did you think of this promo? Because I know you were like me in the beginning. We both thought Hangman was an incredible wrestler, but character-wise, we just didn't see it. So, what did you think after this?
I didn't think he was ready, and he wasn't. And he admitted that last night, that he wasn't ready. The amazing thing is, and why this character is so over with the wrestling fans and over in the world of pro wrestling, is because of the journey, right? The money is in the chase. The money's always been in the chase, right? Daniel Bryan had his moment because the money was in the chase. And that moment felt larger in life because he had that moment, and we were with him through all the ups and downs, and you're not good enough. And Hangman is kind of the same story, right? The ups and downs. He wasn't ready. He self-doubted. Yeah, how many people can relate to doubting themselves? How many people can relate to just not feeling good enough? And last night when he said he finally believes in himself, there's no way he's not winning that fucking title. And Issa said it best on Twitter. That should be referenced on how you cut a babyface promo, because that was
101.
the perfect promo. And everything that I felt about Hangman, it was just like a time machine. Like I went back and I was remembering the conversations we had. Like as he was talking, it was like flashing back. Like, man, he's got the look, he's got the moves, he's not ready. He can't do press. He's not a good promo. And then now you fast forward, and it was true after he found his friends in the Dark Order, and after he found himself, and after he had his baby boy, he became the best Adam Page. And right now, there's nobody in wrestling that deserves a title more than Hangman Adam Page, and we're 1 month away from him getting that. So,
and it just shows the beautiful long-term storytelling that AEW is capable of. This is a story that's even been happening before AEW. This was BTE. This was some part of Ring of Honor storytelling that this goes back to with Hangman being a future world champion. Everybody always talked about it. So, like we said, it's going to be a moment in wrestling. I saw Kyle in the chat say Shawn Michaels when he won in 2002. I'll go a step further. Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match.
Yep.
1996
with that call,
12, baby.
The boyhood dream. That call.
Boyhood dream.
Yep.
It's gonna be one of those moments that people talk about forever. Yep. If they do it right. I mean, AEW 9 out of 10 times sticks to landing, except for the exploding barbed wire death match. So I have a lot of faith that they'll stick this landing.
You know what's amazing is CM Punk on commentary. I just want to throw that in there. The little remarks, I might be a little on the nose with this, but there's no relation there, right? And then JR literally said, all right, enough, Tony, because they kept going.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah, they went back and forth. What about the part with Serena where he was like, nice head of hair on her?
And as soon as he said that, my Twitter was filled with him shaving her head for the straight edge society.
Yeah.
Oh, can we? Serena Deeb, by the way, I know, is she on the list? She is.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about her now.
We'll talk about her now. She has become such a star. Like that promo last night. Like I said last week, I thought Sheeta was going to be the star, and Sheeta is great. But man, if Serena Deeb doesn't feel like a star in the making for this company to be elevated, to be in, a TBS title picture or something like that, they've done such a phenomenal job with Serena Deeb.
Yeah, it's incredible what a talent can do in a new surrounding, right? Because even me, I remember the Straight Edge Society. I remember not caring about her. I remember when she came back to NXT and, she had the match in the Mae Young Classic, and I was like, cool. I mean, she's good, but, I don't really care. And then she becomes one of the coaches at the Performance Center. She ends up getting released, and now she's in AEW, and you're like, oh, no, she's serious. She's the best women's talent in that company. She may be the best women's talent in all of wrestling, if we're being completely honest. I think it's between her and Charlotte.
In the ring, in the ring, that's why she was a teacher, right? That's why. Look at the crop that she taught in NXT. No wonder they're so good, right? Because and that's the perfect person to have on this roster to train girls like Jade, to train girls like Ty Conti, like Anna Jay, like Brit Baker. That's the perfect staple to have them work around, because she is so good and so crisp, as our friends say, at what she does.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about her, Jacky?
I absolutely love Serena Deeb. And I love heel Serena Deeb more than anything. She's got a certain edge to her, and not only does she have that edge on, now we're starting to see it on the mic, but she can 150% back it up with what she does in the ring. I think I've said it before. Nobody, to me, in my book, nobody's doing what she's doing. And the more that they're able to give her that TV time and showcase her, I would happily take Serena Deeb as our first ever TBS champion.
It's possible, right? It's definitely possible. We mentioned tears earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave for this segment because no one wants to hear from me.
Yeah, we mentioned tears earlier, right? Now, there's nobody that I want to talk to about what we're about to get into next. I already
know where we're going.
Then Jacky, okay? We get the Lucha Bros versus Andrade's two secret masked men. And for what? A week and a half, everyone's been like, it's this person, it's that person, it's this person. So something really funny happened, and it just shows how much me and Jacky have looked at FTR over our lives. So FTR come out dressed as Max Men, and immediately me and Jacky are texting the group chat like, that's FTR.
Yep.
That's FTR. I know the body
Yes.
shapes. That is FTR. I know that big meaty man is
Oh,
Cash.
those soon as those thighs came out in spandex, Jackie's fingers were.
Yeah. No, we all knew, right? So this leads to FTR surprisingly winning the AAA tag
Awesome.
team titles, further cementing themselves as, in my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time. Like I said, Jacky, no one more that I want to talk to you than you. How was this for you watching this live?
Oh my God. The fact that, and I'm going to go, we could, even if we wanted to drop timestamps on Twitter from our text messages, before CM Punk even said, hey, that's FTR, we called that shit. Mm-hmm. And as soon as, the one thing I will say, I hate to criticize, but the picture-in-picture in that match freaking killed me. Because you know that FTR and Lucha Brothers have done this dance before, and it was phenomenal. So having that interrupted did throw me a little bit. Grand slamming it across multiple promotions. Mm-hmm. Nobody, I don't give a crap. It's not up for debate with me. Nobody is doing it like FTR is doing it. Mm-hmm. In the frogs, the Lucharana,
Los
the frogs, yes, the frog suits and everything. Best to lace up a pair of boots when it comes to tag team wrestling. Mm-hmm. I love those guys. Congratulations to FTR. Yeah, another set of gold belts to add to that collection.
Oh my God! And I know a lot of people were. Who's the one who tweeted it? I feel like it's somebody we knew. Who tweeted at Dax when he posted that picture and was like, you either got to make, or that video that Dax posted of like his memorabilia case, and it was like, you either got to retire from wrestling or make another case, and he's got to make more room because they got more belts. And I just love that they are treated with such respect and treated like the megastars that they are, right? Treated like incredible, all-time great tag team wrestling. And it's cool because you have the Lucha Bros are the tag team champs, but now you take the AAA belts off of them. Maybe this means we see more FTR and AAA. Hopefully, I hope so. I think they could do some incredible things. We've seen what they do with a lot of these high flyers in AEW already. So imagine them doing that with all the crazy high flyers that they have in AAA. It's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And we get this great moment. So, Ant, what was it like for you? You like FTR.
No, FTR's.
You're not a super fan like us.
I mean, they're one of my favorite. Sure. They're one of my favorite tag teams. I think that they're the greatest tag team going. There's a difference between favorites, and greats, right?
Yeah. No problem.
Yes.
My favorite female wrestler is Nikki Bella. She's never been the greatest. She'll never be the greatest, right? That's just how it is. They are the best tag team. They work with anyone well. Them and the Lucha Bros have this chemistry about them, where you just can't take. They just complement it so well, and. Again, it goes back to, I can't say it enough, the traditional values they have of storytelling, even down to the little tiny bit. And I know this had to come from FTR, is like, we can't just come out with Andrade. You're going to have to tell us Andrade made a deal with MJF to get us here because it's storytelling, and it wouldn't make sense for us to come out with Andrade being part of the Pinnacle when MJF's our leader. These little details of pro wrestling are very like Bobby Heenish. Like Bobby Heenan was like the mastermind of like these little details that piece together, and that's exactly what FTR does. Not only in their match, but in their storytelling and in their promos. They are the most complete set of stars in pro wrestling right now. They do not lack anything. There's nothing you can look at FTR and be like, I wish they did this better. There is nothing. They are the best at what they do, and AEW puts a spotlight on them. Now they can go over the AAA. They can elevate people there. They can play the bad guys there. They could get a red-hot team over there over. That's what they're in the business for. That's what they said they're in the business for. It's amazing that even if they lose, they still feel like the top guys. That's why FTR is the best tag team in the world. Because even in a loss, you go, yep, they're the best tag team in the world. Because we know that We know that it's scripted. We know that the winners and
Yes.
losers are chosen. But when they leave the ring, they're the winner every time because all you're talking about is how good they are.
Yeah, and we have Kyle in the chat saying AEW has the 3 best tag teams in the world. I will go a step further. They have the 4 best tag teams in the world if you add Santana and Ortiz.
Hell yes.
So for me, and this is up to debate, I personally think that it goes FTR, the Bucks, the Usos, because I just think the Usos. If you put the Usos in an AEW fucking ring,
oh my God, you let them loose.
Yeah.
I think they'd be one of the best in the world. They are one of the best in the world. But that's like my only team that kind of sneaks into the list from any other company.
Yeah,
it's because how good they are.
Right.
But
And
I mean, look how far, right? Like we knew Phoenix and Penta were great. We knew the Lucha Bros were great. But look at their body of work this year. It's just next level. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the Lucha Bros.
yes, shout out to the Lucha Bros. It's a great match. And I would be remiss if I did not shout this out. There was my shout out moment.
Yeah.
After the match on Twitter, Cash Wheeler did make a post with the photograph of the AAA tag team title, and the socks that he was wearing in his boots had Eddie Guerrero on them. Yep. And it was just a callback to, the legacy of Mexican wrestlers, and I just thought that was such a brilliant and touching nod. So the attention to detail and the respect for history is just incredible. So
my favorite spot is Phoenix goes for that deadly spin wheel kick. Doc, bam, just lays him the fuck out. And I'm like, that is complimenting each other so well, because then Phoenix does hit that kick later, and you're like, oh my God, it's over now. He hit the kick. Like, yeah. It was just so fucking good. That match was so
every time
good.
FTR is on the screen, it's like, just take all my money.
Yes.
Right? Just take all my money. Every time.
I want that new design. That new thing that they keep posting, that better be a fucking shirt. Like the retro.
Like the 80s logo.
I'll buy the shit out of that shirt.
Take 100%. My money.
100%. Now, I want to transition over to what we mentioned earlier, which is, of course, the World Title Eliminator Tournament, which, thankfully, AEW cleared up and said that the finals will be happening at Full Gear. It's not that the winner of this gets a title shot at Full Gear. So it's similar to last year where we saw that the finals were Kenny versus Hangman, which is even cooler because that story's still going on. So it just shows you, winning this tournament or just being involved in this tournament, really the sky's the limit to what can go out after it. So here are the competitors. On one side of the bracket, we have Dark Order's 10 versus John Moxley. We have Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which takes place next week on Rampage, which was taped after Dynamite this week. For some reason, none of us know why, Dustin Rhodes in another tournament against Bryan Danielson. Should be a fun match.
Give me the yelling promo where he just yells. That's all he does.
Yeah. And then we have Lance Archer, just poor guy.
Poor Lance.
Versus Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Has there been anybody in wrestling history who's lost more tournaments than Lance Archer? And he's awesome, but like, Jesus Christ, bro. This dude is in every tournament, every big match, every big main event, and he's the one losing. And honestly, I think Kingston's going to beat him in the first round.
I do. I think that's going to be the upset of the first round. God. I do.
Yeah. Yep. But, Ann, I'll start with you. What do you think of this tournament? What do you think of the participants?
So we all know
early picks.
We all know where it's going, right? Moxley versus Danielson.
Yep.
At Full Gear in a war, right? Yep. That's going to be a war, and I'm excited for it because John Moxley is on the top of my list in AEW, and I love this new Bryan Danielson style. I will say, and this is just coming from me, this could be nitpicking, a little bit lackluster on the tournament. No Miro, no Jungle Boy, no Adam Cole. And I get you can't put these guys in. You don't want to sacrifice losses. But to feel like the top dog getting a title shot, you should have to run through the other top dogs. And to me, when you look at a bracket and you go Danielson versus Moxley, by looking at it for 3 minutes, that's a problem, right? Because there's no like, this could go this way. Or it's kind of like, this is the path. I'm down for it, but to me, like, not putting Miro in it, not putting Darby in it, not putting Jungle Boy in it, not putting Adam Cole in it. Like, you have the stars where the winner of this tournament would feel like they went through a war to capture the number one contendership, the most prized possession in AEW that's not a championship, is being able to face whoever is the champion, which is hopefully Hangman Page. So to me, Mox is going to win it because I feel like Rant with Ant callback. Dean Ambrose heel turn. John Moxley is going to turn heel. They don't have many people to feed to Hangman after Kenny as a heel, and Moxley could be one of those guys. So I think by Moxley winning that tournament, not only does he upset Danielson, which pisses the crowd off probably, then he goes and fights Hangman, and he attacks Hangman. He's the only one that's unhinged enough that can get into Hangman's head and really get the crowd to even feed into Hangman even more. If you look across that tournament, who else would? We would love to see Danielson versus Hangman, but I don't want to see Danielson in that title picture yet. So to me, I think Moxley wins it.
So here's my thing about the competitors you said that should have been in it. You have to remember, while making this tournament, Kenny's the champion. So all members of the Elite will not be in it. Adam Cole's not going to be in it. Because even kayfabe-wise, you would assume that Kenny's going to win. Like, Kenny's going to think he's going to win. So why would he have one of his boys in the tournament to potentially face him? So Cole's out. Andrade has not been booked strong enough, and he's already in a storyline, so he's out. Miro just lost the TNT title, and and I should have put this in the show notes. He cut one of the best promos.
Was fucking awesome.
Was unbelievable, right?
Hell yeah.
And so he's going into his own story that it's going his own direction. And plus, I don't want to see him lose anymore because, like Ant says, it's Moxley or Danielson. So I don't want to see Miro catch an L from anybody else. And then and MJF is with Darby, so that him and those two are out of the mix.
But it's a tournament, so you could still have feuds and still have these. That's all I'm saying is, it's a little lackluster in. I just think the only person who should be relooked is Lance Archer because he loses them all, and Dustin Rhodes. I think having Orange Cassidy and Powerhouse Hobbs I'm fine with Orange Cassidy, but why isn't Ricky Starks in it over Hobbs?
Well, Ricky Starks is already leaning towards the CM Punk feud.
But where the hell is Malachi Black?
Where's Malachi? Where's Cody? Yeah, I know they're all in feuds, but this is just a tournament. Your feud can go on if you lose. Like, you could even use this to propel a feud.
Yeah, but
Malachi
would have to lose.
Put Chris Jericho in the tournament. Put Chris Jericho in the tournament and have one of the top team cost him the match, and it's like, wow, well, Jericho could have won that match. He has a better chance against Moxley than Press does, and I love the Dark Order, but to me, it's kind of like, okay, we know, like, we can see the bracket, like, okay, these two,
yeah.
like,
we can see where it's ending. I mean, it's good points.
That's only my thing. That I'm not trying to nitpick because I'm excited where we're getting out of it.
Yeah.
But again, Dustin Rhodes shouldn't.
I think all the matches are going to be good, even if it's predictable, right? So, Jacky, what do you think of this whole
Strange thing? Keeps saying, but wait, there's more. So, okay.
Well. Jamie was there for Dynamite and was there for Rampage taping, so she's sitting on a secret that none of us know apparently. But no spoilers.
Jamie Dirt Sheets. Dropping more bombs.
She breaks news left and right.
She's breaking news all over the place.
She is our insider. So as far as my take on the tournament, you guys covered a lot of my feelings, honestly. But I did feel like it was a little bit of a womp womp moment with some of the names that were in there. I don't like to unfairly criticize anybody. That's never been my shtick. Or to try to, put value on somebody to say, like, this person doesn't deserve to be in this, versus this. However, I needed Malachi Black in this tournament. I'm just going to say it. But he
would have to lose.
Doesn't matter. Wins and losses don't hurt him. His mystique. Like, The Undertaker lost. Undertaker had, 3 championships ever.
I know, but I don't think they want him to lose yet.
Okay, but here
I agree, Jacky. I agree. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
What if he didn't have to lose? What if he took everything? You know what I mean? Like, he's on an undefeated streak. He's killing people. He's a dark heel. Couldn't he be the first to go against, ultra babyface Hangman Adam Page when he inevitably takes the title? Like, I don't know. Just to me, there was a few names in this tournament that I was like, I could have done without it, because when I can look at something and I'm like, there's always room for a swerve. But if I could look at something and say like, well, I know who's winning this one. I know who's winning this one. I know, like, it just doesn't feel as exciting to me. And with tournaments, I want it to be like a gamble of like, who is going to take this win.
Mm-hmm. All this talk about Malachi being undefeated. Don't you guys know he's losing to Cody? Like, it's gonna happen. You're not gonna beat Cody three times.
The storyline is good. It's a cool story, bro. Did you see that promo segment? It was awesome.
Arn was about to reach for the Glock. Of course, I saw it.
You had Red Velvet. You had Lee Johnson. You had
Kylan it was great.
King, you had all the Nightmare
but can't you have Cody cost him a match before they fight to add even more fuel to the fight? That's all I'm saying is. You could have worked around it in a typical pro wrestling fashion. That's all. I'm not saying that, I want to see Malachi get beaten or I want to see Jungle Boy taken out or I want to see Jericho lose. But these are all guys that are in storylines where it would make sense that they get screwed. That's all.
Listen, also, selfishly, I don't want to see Malachi ruin Hangman's celebration.
Malachi needs to stay away from the title. Yeah, because he needs to win the title.
Yeah, I think he should win the TNT title.
Me too. I think he's going to beat Sammy Guevara.
Sammy. Yep. I think so. I think that would be really cool, and it'd be really different for that belt to have like a dark, spooky heel hold that belt because they haven't had that yet. So that would be really awesome. And hey, while we're talking about Malachi, I completely so much wrestling happened this weekend. You forget the matches that happened. So I want to talk about real quick Malachi versus Dante Martin because it's unreal to me, and I really want to get your guys' opinions. How Dante Martin keeps doing things that just make you go, how can someone do this? And Ray Phoenix is another guy who always does that. But Ray Phoenix has been around for a while. Dante Martin is only 20 years old. They signed this guy when he was 19. And he was a tag team wrestler with his brother Darius. So you're like, oh, they're cool. They could be like another Young Bucks in a few years. They have a lot of potential. Meanwhile, Darius gets hurt. And now Dante Martin's become one of the most excited person you could watch in all of wrestling, which is unreal to me. So, I'll start with you. What do you think of Dante Martin versus Malachi this week?
I gave Dante Martin the coin last week that's very near and dear to my heart. He is the Rey Mysterio of Dynamite and Rampage, where you have to watch him because he's going to do shit you've never seen before, and he's young, and he's talented, and he's 20, and he has so much of a future ahead of him. It reminds me of when I used to watch Nitro, and Rey Mysterio would open up the show, and it was the best part of the show because you just never knew what the dude was going to do. I also said, and I believe Jacky said it too, that we thought this was going to be Malachi's best match. And it was Malachi's best match in AEW. I think he looked super great. Martin sells everything perfectly because Martin has that something about lighter guys that can fly. They sell everything like they got hit by a truck, and I love that. Like when he got caught with a kick, it looked like Arn pulled out the Glock. Like my man got pistol whipped. He went down, but like that to me just shows you're a star because not only can you do the exciting things like dish it out, when you get hit, it looks like you got killed. And that's how you complete a package of a pro wrestler. You have to make people look good. You have to make yourself look good. Dante Martin looks goddamn good. I'm excited to see where it goes with Lio Rush. Hopefully it's a one-on-one match where they're flying around the ring because Lio Rush, as much as I'm not a big fan of him, inside the ring he has maneuvers that you can't even think about doing because he's so talented, right? Guy's super talented inside a ring. So you give Dante Martin versus Lio Rush. If you want to have him be a tag team till his brother gets back too, and then that starts to feud.
I think that's the story.
Like,
I think the story is going to be
I'm here for it.
His brother coming back to save him from whatever Lio Rush is pulling him like in the wrong direction. Like I think, and we saw it. Like Dante Martin was like reluctant to join with Lio Rush. He was just joining because like he felt, oh, maybe this will get him over. Maybe this will help him win.
Well, and he saw that Rush got Sydal the match with Punk, which I thought was a nice touch, right? Like nobody believed Rush until Rush was like, hey, and I got you a match with Punk. So it's like, okay, so maybe Lio Rush does have some, pull, which is a cool story. Mm-hmm. It's a cool lower level story that keeps you interested.
Yep. What do you think, Jacky?
Dante Martin, man, I'm like, this is just going to be like a weekly thing for me, or like anytime that he's on Dynamite or Rampage, it's going to be me putting Dante Martin over, because when it comes to his top rope game. And I'm not talking about flying off of turnbuckles. I'm talking about when this guy walks on the top rope and flies off of it with balance and stability like I have never freaking seen in my life. Everything that he does is just super impressive. But I think I had kind of questioned when they announced the match, well, how is it going to be with the kind of clash of styles? How are they going to adapt to one another? I think they did it brilliantly. And it was a hell of a way to open the night, which AEW Dynamite has just become, that's their signature. They open right out the gate with the biggest banger matches. And I loved Malachi versus Dante Martin. I am so excited to see what Dante Martin continues to do as he progresses in the company. And, you know, like we keep throwing around, he's only 20. If he's this good now, give him a few years. I can't even imagine what he's going to be out there doing. But
it's unreal the future that this guy has. And you know, I want to circle back to something. We've talked this long and we haven't talked about CM Punk.
Nope. I guess it's worn off, guys. It's
over.
It's the honeymoon phase. No, I love it.
No. We did talk CM Punk.
We talked about commentary.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think of CM Punk versus Matt Sydal, commercial free? And for anybody who watched Road to this week, Road to Miami, gets, you know, highlighting CM Punk and Matt Sydal's backstory. And they actually showed the video during the buy-in right before the match, which I thought was pretty cool for anybody who missed it. Listen, I went from not giving two shits about this match because I've never really cared about Matt Sydal regardless. But they sold me with all the old footage, their long history together. They told a great story, and it was commercial free. And a lot of people on Twitter were posting about it, and you know, I agree. Punk went all out in this match. Punk was wrestling like he had something to prove. And you're the CM Punk guy. What did you think of this match to start off Rampage this past week?
It was the best Punk has looked since he got back. As far as, you know, he was very tight with everything. He didn't look like he was getting as blown up. Like he looks like he's starting to get in ring shape. His selling looked better. As these things, you know, as he wrestles more of these things, it's like riding a bike. It'll come back to him slowly. It's been 7 years since he did this. So you got to give the guy a little bit of rope. Like, hey, it's been 7 years since he's really been in. But like against Sydal, he was in. Like you could tell he was focused. He looked different. And Sydal was a perfect opponent because, again, another high flyer sells like he got hit by a car. So everything that Punk's not the biggest guy, but Punk looked huge compared to him. Punk looked like everything he hit, like the clotheslines that he hit. Sydal looked like he got hit by a car. And that's perfect to make Punk look unstoppable and make him look like the best in the world. And I think CM Punk is the best thing is he's having fun, right? And it's not the, again, I know he said this, it's not the voice of the voiceless anymore. He is back to have a good time, to show that he can still go. And it's just been such a great thing to see CM Punk come out smiling, middle of the match, playing to the crowd. Like, to me, it's like a rock star tour. And that's what it feels like. It's like he's a band and he's just going around playing his hit songs and all the crowds embracing him because they never thought the band would get back together and now they're here. And that's what I love about this run. And I don't care if he doesn't capture a title. We know eventually we're going to get the Punk Omega. We're going to get the Punk Danielson. We're going to get the Punk Hangman. We're going to get the Punk Mox. We're going to get the Punk Jericho. We're going to get all these great matches. But first, let's get Punk looking better every single week.
Yep.
Because then when he gets to that level, it'll be like, okay, this is CM Punk.
Yep. What do you think, Jacky?
Agreed. So I won't get too much into like match move for move because, you know, Ant kind of covered those bases. Yes, I'm glad to see Punk back out there looking happy and healthy. But one thing I will call back to, shout out to Kyle in the chat, because we talked about this where there was a lot of people that were kind of buzzing around on the old Twitter machine saying that, you know, they got to stop putting Punk in these matches with no real significant buildup or no storyline behind it. And Kyle had said, you know, people have got to start watching these Road to episodes that they do. You know, I know that AEW creates a lot of content when it comes to Elevation, Dark, BTE, Road to, all of these things. but it so perfectly connects the dots for you. So if you're sitting there wondering, but why this match? There's always a story behind it, and there's always a reason. AEW is great at really pulling from the past and bringing it into the now. So do yourself a favor when they announce these Road to episodes, watch them, because if you're feeling like you're missing something, they will fill in those gaps for you.
Yep.
So they definitely did that with Punk and Seidel.
Also, this just came to mind. I don't know why we didn't bring this up earlier, but shout out to AEW for doing Hispanic Heritage Weekend both nights and having people bring flags to the arena and really creating this unique atmosphere because a lot of the chants were in Spanish.
Yo, the C chants.
Right?
Yeah.
So yes, the C chants were great, but my favorite chant was the Otra Vez chant because I was like, holy shit, we got so many Spanish people in this crowd that they're saying another one but in Spanish. And I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, this is so awesome that there's enough Spanish people in this crowd that we are getting this in Spanish. And it was so much fun and it was so great. And of course, yes, the C chants are always fantastic. But
you know what chant I heard for the first time this weekend I haven't heard since Danielson got back? You're going to get your fucking head kicked in. Was the first time I've heard that chant. They were chanting it Saturday night. So it was the first time since he's got back that I've heard his old, you're going to get your fucking head kicked in. Like, that was the first time I heard it, and I popped.
People are learning.
Did they chat it at Arthur Ashe? Because I didn't hear it at Arthur Ashe.
And it was chanted in my section in Philly also, and people even had signs. Like, you know how they have, like, this person's section, that person's section. They had the you're going to get your freaking head kicked in signs going
You can
on.
curse,
So,
Jacky.
Yeah.
Mama POV.
We would discuss this. Mama POV's
the
in
Mama
the chat,
POV's in the chat.
so she's not cursing.
I'm trying to behave.
Well, he's going to kick his darn head in. I swear. Oh, I swear he's going to kick him in the butt.
Also, to be fair, the signs were censored, so
well,
there you go.
In Jacky's defense.
Like, also, like, the you fucked up chants are always they edit them out. Like, they turn the crowd level down. So it was the first time I audibly could.
You, Ben Simmons.
I could audibly hear those chants going on. That's why I got so excited.
Oh, with YouTube. Maybe that's why?
No, it was Saturday night. It was against Fish.
Oh, was it against Fish?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I heard it in the Suzuki match, too. Or maybe that was just the loud thuds of him getting the side of his head.
That was him actually getting his fucking head kicked in. Oh.
Yeah. Now from that segment to, something I think is kind of dividing the AEW fandom, and I am totally me. This. Yeah. We have American Top Team versus the Inner Circle, which I laughed. The only thing I didn't like about this segment is that they said the Inner Circle was reunited. They never broke up.
Yeah.
Whatever. They weren't on TV together for a couple of weeks, but they were never broke up. So whatever. But I love what they're doing with American Top Team. I think Dan Lambert is unreal how good this guy is on the microphone for having no wrestling experience, for being a complete outsider, just somebody who's in the MMA world. He has taken this character and really run with it. I love that. We're getting to see Jericho talk directly to Paige Van Sant, really getting her involved.
I love that we get to see Paige Van Sant.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I love that we get to look at Paige Van Sant and see her.
I think Paige did an interview, or she said something on her social media where it was Jericho's idea to keep bringing her in because Jericho was like, you're a star, you're one of the biggest parts of this, so I think that's really cool.
So the best part of that segment, though, is Jericho's like, I wouldn't touch you with your husband's genitalia. And CM Punk goes, yeah, I don't think that's true. I popped, bro. I popped.
Yeah, I love his little side comments that he has with Tony.
Oh, my
God. Man. Yeah, him and Schiavone should have a podcast together.
And then the best part about it is what they've been doing the last couple of weeks, which a lot of us wanted to see. They're letting Scorpio and Ethan Page talk.
Thank
which
God.
I think is awesome. And Scorpio Sky, in my opinion, hey, maybe it's not Malachi who takes that belt off Sammy. Maybe it's Scorpio Sky, because they're really giving this guy a lot of time to develop his character, to get heat and all this stuff. And of course, they're in this feud with the Inner Circle. Maybe this leads to something. But I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome. I love the match they had on Rampage where we saw the debut in the wrestling ring with JDS, and shout out to him for going through a table during his first match and then calling out Roman Reigns, which I think was hilarious because, like, this ain't no wrestling shit, bro. I don't care how big you are. That's a former UFC heavyweight champion who's an actual killer. But, Jacky, I'll start with you. What do you think about this American Top Team stuff?
Oh my God, I'm going to be on my lonely ass island right now.
No, you're not. I'm on the lonely island. I'm the only one who likes it. Everybody else hates it.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I'm sorry. Like, it just does nothing for me. And I know, like, I'm not going to take anything away from Dan Lambert with his ability to piss off a crowd. He speaks well, and he really gets under people's skin. I know that that's the goal. And I know people say, like, oh, that's a heel. You're supposed to hate him. You're supposed to. I'm just so indifferent about it. Like, I find myself kind of tuning out during these segments, which is unfortunate because I really loved Scorpio Sky when he first hit his singles run. I wanted the world for him. I wanted him to take that TNT title off of Cody. And I still want him to do big things. I just feel that this has become more about Dan Lambert than it has become about Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page.
That's a good point. But can I ask you, did you tune out in Philly, or were you booing so loud that you couldn't even hear the man speak?
I was booing very loudly because
he's doing his he's doing his job.
He's doing his job, but it's almost like I'm booing because I legit don't want or care to hear anything he has to say.
Exactly.
But also, when you're in the crowd and you're a fan, it's a mob mentality thing. I'm probably not going to be there while everybody's like booing and whatever, just checking aimlessly, scrolling through my phone. You know what I mean? You're going to get involved on some level because it's what the greater masses are doing around, especially when I'm sitting ringside. How bad would that look?
I mean, if you don't want them on TV, don't react.
Second of it. Listen, and I will be on my island by myself, it every week.
I'm over here with you.
It's so funny. Lambert
Plant the flag.
is just
Let's go.
ripping people to shreds, and even his hometown starts booing him, and he starts ripping his hometown. It was so good.
Yeah.
It's so
he
good.
He went at Jericho with a mic.
Yeah, when he's done, you hand the mic off to Scorpio and Ethan Page, and they actually do this, and their promos are awesome. And listen, I understand there's so many of American Top Team there. It's hard to keep up who they are. And listen, as much as a lot of them aren't crossover stars that you would know, right? However, they're all badasses, and I think it's awesome. As someone who used to love MMA a lot, and I know Paige, I know her husband, I know JDS, I know Jorge Masvidal. It's awesome to have them there. The key to all of this is, I think Masvidal has a fight coming up. And they need to have Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page in the crowd, and they need to show them. And I know Tony Khan has a great relationship with Dana White and a great relationship with the people in Bellator and stuff like that. So I think that we need to start seeing this being paid off the other way, not just with them coming here, but with us being able to go there. So if they do that, we're all good. But either way, I'm loving every second of this.
Look, I enjoy Dan Lambert. Go ahead, Jacky. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, everything doesn't have to be catered towards, a singular person's likes or dislikes. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's not for me personally.
And that's fair because listen, it gets annoying, right? He talks a little bit too long, but I think what he says, it puts more heat on American Top Team, and that's the whole point, is to have the heat on these guys. I don't want to get to the point where it's overshadowing them. There's a difference. So now it's getting them heat. But when does it become that it is the Dan Lambert show and these are just his cronies?
I feel like it already is, but that's
and to me it's tiptoeing that. And right now we're staying good because they're giving Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky a microphone. And if you notice this week, they were standing in front of everybody. Certain things like that to me lets me know, okay, maybe now Dan Lambert will fade back a little bit and just become like an advocate for them, which is fine, right? Give them like Paul Heyman, give them 45 seconds, let them get fucking booed out of the arena, and then let these two talk. But it's the 4 or 5 minute long-winded promos, which right now is getting them the attention. We're talking about America Top Team. I wasn't talking about Scorpio Sky 3 months ago. Right? I wasn't talking about him. I wasn't talking about Ethan Page 3 months ago. Now I'm talking about him. Now I'm thinking about him. So it's going to elevate them. But again, Jacky, to your point, When does it become the Dan Lambert show? Eventually, he's going to have to fall behind them, and we're going to have to see in the ring that these two are going to win a tag title or do something huge that makes him worth having. Because right now, he's just there for them to get heat. What does he really do for this tag team? That's the question.
Love the year that Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are having. We had them fight Sting and Darby at Double or Nothing this year. We've had Ethan Page have a coffin match with Darby in these great matches. They've really showcased both of them on Elevation, letting them talk and all this stuff. And now they're in a feud with the Inner Circle, who, like it or not, are one of the biggest spots and one of the biggest main events that AEW has. They main evented Double or Nothing, right? The comeback show to live fans. So I think this is a huge spot for them. But like I said, I love it, but I agree with everybody. It has to have an end game, and hopefully the end game is probably Full Gear. We know that AEW likes to reset things after pay-per-views, and it seems like they're ramping up all at once right now with a bunch of these storylines that we talked about, including American Top Team versus the Inner Circle. I do wish that Paige somehow gets involved and we get a female involved with the Inner Circle, even if it's not officially, right? Just somebody that they could bring in. Hey, maybe they bring in Marina Shafir, right? Because she's a former MMA fighter, and maybe that's how they could bring her in. Yeah, she wasn't a UFC fighter. I don't think she ever made it. She was in the smaller companies and stuff like that. But she's an MMA fighter nonetheless. Maybe they bring her in as a one-off, as a paid something or whatever. Thunder Rosa has MMA experience. They could bring her in. She's a huge baby face, even though she's in the feud with Jade right now. But there's a lot of cool things that I think could stem from this. Now, before we get to the end of the show, there's two more things that I want to bring up. One, Dark Order versus Super Click. So, Jacky, give me your quick thoughts on this match because it was a fun one.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. It's just incredible to me to think that there was once upon a time where people were like, Dark Order, who? Like, who cares?
Yeah. Me.
And
that was me. That was one of them.
That was pretty much, I would venture to think, a large percentage of the fan base were like that. And now how beloved the Dark Order has become. I just love John Silver. Just put him on anything. And I'm instantly hooked. I loved the spot where, they typically go for Adam Cole's got somebody, in a hold, and then the Young Bucks come kiss on the cheeks, and the little surprise by John Silver and Alex Reynolds. That popped me huge. Freaking hilarious.
What about the spot? Did everybody notice when Silver did the boobs thing?
No, I missed that.
Yeah,
I didn't catch it.
If you guys go back and watch it, it's towards the beginning of the match. It's after Adam Cole's entrance when they fight him. I think Dark Order gets the upper hand first, and then Silver knocks down Cole, and he goes boobs, and it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah, like I caught him, shouting out "budge" to Adam Cole on the apron. Yeah. That part I caught. So like all these little callbacks to BTE are freaking hilarious. Yeah, but it was a really entertaining match overall. I loved it.
What did you think, Ant?
Yeah, it was. I mean, if there is going to be a championship, it should be a trios championship because there's so many good trios in AEW. None better than a Super Click. Those guys' chemistry is unbelievable. It made me care again about the Dark Order. I love Johnny Hungy. I love him, and we got to see Sacco, which I've never thought Evil Uno was fun. Like for real, like to me, he's always been like the outcast. I thought Stu Grayson's an amazing wrestler. I love Johnny Hungy. I love, you know what I mean? Like in the Dark Order, I can go through the list, and I was like, hey, Evil Uno doesn't really do it for me. When he pulled out Sacco, I popped so fucking hard, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. So
it's cool. It's cool.
It was fun.
The cool thing about it was it felt like he pulled it out. They took off Nick Jackson's shoes.
Sock,
yeah, and then he took off his sock and gave it to him. And with that being said, something talking about Punk on commentary, Punk mentioning that the Bucks were wrestling in fake J's popped me.
Yeah. And then he goes, is that Mick Foley?
Yeah. Punk, it just seems like Punk is having the best time, which makes us at home as the viewer want to have the best time too, because he's laughing, he's joking, he's smiling.
So like me, I'm like, can't we just move JR off and just let Punk, Shivani, and Excalibur? Because those three had me fucking dying, bickering back and forth. And then of course JR's like trying to call the match. I'm like, bro, you don't even know this guy's name. Why are you trying to keep order? Get out
also, something that I think we should highlight too is Taz and Ricky Starks are phenomenal. I mean, we know Taz is great on
Starks
commentary,
was
right?
great.
But Ricky Starks has been so good on these
He
Rampage
really is.
episodes and doing elevations and darks. And Eddie Kingston is doing elevation a lot now with Paul White and Tony Schiavone. I love that they're giving a lot of people these chances to do commentary. And just Ricky Starks adds so much to it. Even being super new to the whole thing, he was great during Danielson and Suzuki.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome. At first I didn't even know who it was because I missed it at the beginning, and I'm like, whose voice is that? And then it finally clicked that it was Ricky Starks. I'm like, wow, he actually sounds like he's done this like professionally. Like he has a talent for it. So where Punk was more funny, Ricky Starks was given a lot of good info about being inside the ring, which I think is really cool. Like I think that's like it's one of the reasons why they always have ex-football players be commentators, because they can see stuff happening on a field that me, who only played high school football, can't see, right? So they're going to say, oh, this is why this happened.
Who only plays Madden, doesn't ever see.
For Ricky Starks, like, he was calling this stuff in the ring, and it puts you in that perspective, like, oh, that makes sense. And to me, that's like a hidden thing that I really enjoyed, especially during Suzuki and Danielson. Starks, that's where he shined. I thought he called an excellent match.
And one more thing before we get out of here, just real quick, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the potential feud, which is leading to a match at Rampage, which was already taped for people like Jamie Dirt Sheets out here. But for the rest of us, we got to wait. And that is Brit Baker versus Anna Jay. I love it. I love it so much. It's going to be cool to see Anna Jay in the spotlight. In this big match, right? She's been back for a few months now. She's had some good matches against Bunny and some good matches against Penelope Ford. So it'll be cool to see, how much she's learned in the time being gone, how well her recovery has gone and everything, and to see if she can perform in a big match situation with Britt Baker. But what do you think of this, Jacky?
I'm really excited. It's been really cool to see, the things that Anna Jay has done since her return. I was worried when she got injured and, the projected time off that, maybe she'd lose some momentum that she was gaining before the injury. But I think she's settled in well. She comes across like a star. Obviously, I mean, or maybe not. Obviously to me, Britt Baker's going over, but at the end of the day, it's really cool to see Anna Jay's progression. I'm excited to see how these two are gonna play off of each other in the ring, and let Anna Jay star keep rising. She's been doing really well since she got back, and she's definitely won me over. So
you know what I was thinking all day at work today? I was thinking
cake.
Well, yeah, and especially what I'm about to bring up after this. So a lot of people were like, why is Anna Jay getting a match against Britt Baker? Her last match was against Penelope Ford and she lost. And it's like, what if this is a way to get Britt versus Ty Conti at Full Gear? And hear me out. Ty Conti has been in the top 3 all year.
Number 2 right now.
She's been called, number 2 right now. She's been called the most consistent woman in the company multiple times. And as we saw, Ty Conti gets ratings. They put her and Santana Garrett in that buy-in because it was a little shout out, and also I think a little fuck you to WWE, because the first match in NXT that beat AEW in the ratings was Ty Conti versus Santana Garrett. And it's like, I think it'd be really cool that and Ty Conti always is one of the highest rated segments whenever she's on Dynamite. She has a huge fan base. We saw the fans love her, right? We saw her during the buy-in. We see her during Darks and Elevations. And when she was on Rampage, people love her. And she's high in the rankings. She's on a crazy, they make her wrestle on Dark and Elevation a lot and get a lot of wins. I think it would be really cool to have her versus Britt at Full Gear. And Britt could be fully heel. And then Ty Conti could be the super baby face that everybody wants to win. I think it's something to think about. Just saying.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited for that match. Also, Issa, thank you for saying we're great gym company. It's the first time I've probably been in the gym is about a year, and it's just because I'm going through your speakers. So thank you for taking me to the gym with you. Hopefully I see the results soon. We're just grinding here on the ellipticals, trying to get those lats and the delts and, do all that fun shit. And you can use the code Jericho for DDP yoga. They definitely are. I don't fucking, I lift cheesesteaks, bro. Whole lot of man meat over here.
Listen, Chris Jericho saying for us to use DDP yoga is why I don't want to use DDP yoga.
Yeah, right? Chris Jericho's like,
Wow.
use the code vodka. No, wrong code. So yes, Brit versus Anna is going to be great. I think I'm with you, Phil. It sets up Ty Conti, because they if you've listened, they've alluded to it a lot more that she's she's ranked high. She's the number 2. She's literally been getting that thrown at her a lot when she's coming down the ramp or in the ring. I think that's Britt's next opponent. I think you're going to see some ruthlessness against Anna Jay. Unfortunately, I think Britt and Jamie Hayter and them might be taking advantage. Tay comes out for the save. Ty Conti now versus Brit Baker full gear. It all makes sense. It's all fun. And we're off to the races with that feud. That's going to be amazing. So I'm in for it. And I can't wait for next week, even though it's going to be weird for me to watch because Friday and Saturday I'm at a wedding. And then Sunday I'm doing inventory. That means that Sunday at like 8:30, 9 p.m., I'm going to finally sit down and watch Rampage and Dynamite so we can do the show Monday.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit of a marathon for you.
A little bit of a crazy week for us coming up in these next few weeks. But, we thank everybody for being here live in the chat. I want to personally thank everybody for hitting the goals, right? We get me dressed like Elsa. We get Ant dressed like Olaf. And we're getting now Jacky dressed like Anna, which I think will be really cool. And that will be on the next episode. We will be all dressed up. We will figure everything out. So we definitely thank you guys for subbing to our channel, and thank you for everybody who subbed during this live episode right now. A reminder, ElitePOVmerch.com to get all of our brand new shirts for every single member of the group, even Jamie, even Infinity, everybody. We love this team that we have built. We have some great things coming up in the next month. Stay tuned, 11/11. Do not forget that. And I'll start with you, Ant. Where could they follow you?
You can follow me at Ant_is_elite. You can catch me Tuesday night on Game of Wrestling, twitch.tv/Game of Wrestling. Come join the hottest E-Fed GOW with a lot of these people that are in the chat have characters. These two have characters. I have a character. You get a character. I feel like Oprah. But it is amazing. It is fun. It's another thing to bring the community together. So come check it out. Also, 11/11, make sure you have that number marked on your calendar. But this week, we're going to have some special content coming to the YouTube page. So please pay attention to the YouTube page this week as well, as we're trying to do everything across the board to give you as much content as possible. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to listen to. Tell us what kind of shows you want, what interaction you want, and we will give it to you. My only thing is, if you could just share this with one or two friends that love pro wrestling, that would mean the world to us. Thank you, Jamie Strange, and thank you, Infinity, for joining the team, and thank you two for having this beautiful show with me every week. And Jack, sorry about your new job of babysitting Phil and I, but welcome to the club.
I couldn't think of a better duo. I'm having I am legit. I know it sounds cliche. I'm having the freaking time of my life. Since joining up with you guys, this has been a fantastic endeavor for me. I love every second of it. Yeah, we drive each other crazy sometimes, but the beauty of all of this is that we are all really great friends. We're with each other all the damn time, virtually for now, but we make it happen. So on that note, for my socials, you can find me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24. And you can find me on Instagram at JacksTheDrawPOV. And you can now follow the collective group on Instagram at ElitePOV as well. So lots of incredible things happening right now. Shout out to everybody on this team. We have been kicking butt, working really hard to bring you the absolute best AEW podcast content. So thank you all for being here. And the best is yet to come. I can promise you that.
Yes, and if you want to follow us on Twitter at ElitePOV, make sure you check out the Squared Circle on our brand new YouTube channel to join the best wrestling community out there. And like we said, we keep saying a lot of big things coming. Stay tuned. You can follow me on Twitter at Philium. Elite, thank you guys for watching another episode of Elite POV. And remember, you don't need a hat to be a cowboy. Bye.